Beloved brothers, the gospel proclaimed today describes the meeting between Jesus and a young man. A rich young man, a young man who for the world was considered to be a good young man, because as he himself had said to Jesus, he loved his family, he did not hurt others, he did not steal, he never lied, but this young man lacked something. He lacked the abandonment of his heart to the one who is all. He lacked the total trust in the God of love, in the God of life. In fact, Jesus says to him, "Why do you ask me what is good? One is good, God." And brings him back the goodness of God to that goodness for which the Son of God descended on earth. To manifest to all men, to all young people, to all those who are looking for God, his immense love and his immense goodness. And in that dialogue, Jesus defines a path with that young man. Starting from the 10 Commandments. Saying to him that in order to follow the Lord, first of all, the commandments of the Father must be respected. Jesus has not set aside those commandments, but he transmitted them with all his heart all his life, making understand to all those who wanted to follow him and so follow the teachings of God, that the commandments can be enclosed in love. In love towards God and in love towards the brothers, brotherhood. Here is the living of the law of the Lord. Here is the teaching of Jesus, that brings back to the Father, in a total interweaving with his heart. There is no divestment from those that are the teachings of the Father, as it is taught elsewhere, where it has been said, that the commandments are not absolute, the commandments are temporal. No. The commandments are eternal and they are called love. And what he wanted to transmit to that young man, bringing him back to him, bringing him back to the Son of God, making him understand that he had met the one who is good. And for this reason, he had been called to leave everything, to be able to follow him. But that young man, in front of those words, stepped back and went away. He couldn't give up his wealth, to follow the true, supreme good of life, of every son, who wants to meet God. And this unfortunately happens to many, but in the course of history, there have been others who instead have embodied this teaching of Jesus. As did Saint Francis, who stripped himself of everything, to give everything to the poor and to incarnate in his life, the commandments of God, without manipulating the word, but living it precisely as did Mother Teresa of Calcutta. This great saint, whose birth to heaven falls today, who gave her whole life to the poor, she who in a particular moment of her life, said, "In the world there is a poverty much greater than material poverty, it is poverty of love." Making reference to those hearts that do not live love, to those hearts that do not live God. To those hearts that are full of other wealth, of human wealth, and because of this wealth do not have God in their heart, because their heart is full of humanity and full of many interests, but is empty of God. Here is the spiritual meaning of these words, that today we want to bring back to the center. As a church faithful to Christ, go, sell all that you have, give it to the poor, then come and follow me. Here is our call. Here is the call of this church. Here is the call of you young people, who have arrived here in this church. You must well understand, what are the riches? Riches are not only material goods. Many times you can also be poor in life, because one does not have much at his disposal, but one's heart could be rich in so many futile things, in so many things that unfortunately fill our heart, so much to relegate Jesus in a corner. To leave little space to the one who instead, must be our all, the treasure of our life. And so, to you young people I say, know how to empty your heart, of all that is futile to fill it with Jesus, to fill it with love, trust the one who has called you, abandon yourself to his good will, try to give space, always more space, to the one who has given you and will give you everything, already now, already in this time, just as it was proclaimed by Jesus, whoever renounces to his own things for me, whoever renounces to what can be worldly, to his own interests, to his own way of seeing, of thinking, to embrace my life, to welcome my word, to feed on my love, to be able to live me. Already today, he will receive 100 times more, and then again, eternal life. Hear the call to eternal life. This cradle is the viaticum that leads to eternal life. Here the promises of the Lord are fulfilled. Here the Lord realizes the new creation that starts again from those hearts ready. Here the Lord calls you, young people, to be able to bring a breath of fresh air into the world, so that his name may triumph, so that his love may reach every heart. Be holy, desire every day to put Jesus Christ at the center of your heart. Know every day to conform to what is his life, his teachings. Nourish yourselves of every word that comes from his heart, to be able to live it in everyday life and to be able to transmit it to all those that you meet and will meet. Don't be ahead of your time, have trust in the Lord, live the carefree of your youth, in the true brotherhood, make love circulate among you, so that this love can not only set fire to your hearts, but set fire to the hearts of so many, who in the world are attracted by other, and for this, more and more, do not understand what is the true treasure of life, what they must look for. Make them understand what is the treasure to look for, that you have found in this place. Concentrate more and more on this treasure, putting aside also many things that at times could give human satisfaction, or that can give pleasure, in order to live more and more the joy of living Christ, of belonging to Christ. It is a particular call that Jesus makes to you, to us, to everyone, in this holy place, and as Jesus said to Maria Giuseppina, all those called must be ready to leave something. Just as Peter did, who had his life as a fisherman, that gave him so much satisfaction, and he had to give up his life. At the beginning it was painful, but then he found the strength in the enthusiasm of the new life that Jesus proposed to him. And so I say to you, hear the joy and the enthusiasm of knowing that what is written in this book that has been prophesied over the centuries, is being fulfilled today. That young man was a young man who lived the faith, even if in his own way, and was looking for eternal life. That life that the Lord announced. That eternal life in which we Christians believe, his kingdom, the kingdom of Jesus, the promised kingdom. Here is this cradle, wanted by the Father, to realize his kingdom. Here is the announcement that shocks the hearts and changes the lives even of young people. So it was for me, when, in 1991, at the age of 18 years, as a young man, came to this place. I came from a Christian family that had transmitted to me Christian teachings. I believed in Jesus. I believed in Mary. But when I arrived here, nothing was the same as before, everything changed. In this place I met the Lord, I met Mary, and here, I received the announcement of the return of Jesus, of the return of the Lord on earth. And that announcement gave me a different enthusiasm. From that moment I began to relate to others with a hope in my heart. With a hope that I did not have. With a lively enthusiasm that led me to see everything in a different way. Even though I was living the world, while continuing to do what everyone is called to do, studying at that time, I had just started at the university, and so I went ahead with my studies. I studied, but my heart, my thoughts, were directed to the baby Jesus, to this cradle, to this great mystery, to that announcement that has pervaded my life. I studied and did my best, in the certainty that those words would be fulfilled. And so I went forward, living my youth, in contact with so many young people, but I was no longer attracted by the world with its pleasures and its entertainment, no longer attracted me, it no longer gave me anything in my heart. I only felt the need to come, to draw on and then share with other young people. This is what kept me going forward, to be able to say to others, come. That I have discovered the most beautiful place, come. You who call yourselves Christians, you who say that you love Jesus, come, because I have discovered the place of God's promises, that place of which Jesus said that it would be the field where he would have hidden his treasure, his pearl. Come, I have found the treasure, I have found the pearl. Come here you too, to see it, to appreciate it. Come, to feel that great love that the Lord put in my heart. This is the only desire that animated me, In contact with others, I looked for the occasion to be able to talk to everyone about Jesus and this place, to be able to make known the mystery of God. And believe me, young people, I am talking to you with my heart in my hand. Many young people have welcomed that announcement, because they heard a young man speaking, as them, of Jesus. Today it is difficult to hear a young person speak of Jesus. Here the Lord asks you, young people of my heart, in you or infused my love, imprinted my life, go, to bring Jesus to others, firstly through the example, through love, through a smile, the smile of the infant God, that you have received here before this cradle. Go without shame, without fear. One must be ashamed of sin. One must be ashamed of evil things, but not of Jesus, of He who is joy. Many young people are sad because they have no hope. Many young people live in despair, because they have concentrated their strength in the things of the moment and have hoped to find their joys in what the world offers, but many have been disappointed. They have been betrayed by the world. Jesus will never betray them, just as He will never betray you. To you I say, always more, open your heart, abandon yourselves to the will of God, as did Mary with her fiat. She who awaited the fulfillment of every plan. She who waited for the manifestation of God, all awaited in her heart, and all was accomplished in the times established by the Father. And so she was guided because she let herself be guided step by step, so that all was accomplished, when the Father wanted, and so as did this mother, Maria Giuseppina, she also said, let it be done to me as you wish, do with me what pleases you. And so she abandoned herself and let herself be guided. She waited for years so that everything could be fulfilled, even this church. She all knew and awaited. Just as she waited for that young man of whom Jesus had spoken, that young man who would help her and who would bring to fulfillment this plan of love, she all awaited in her heart for so many years, for 27 years. She never said to Jesus, but how you promised me, but when? She waited. Thy will be done, and that young man arrived. And so the Lord was able to give fulfillment to those words announced, and so today everything is realized, and everything will be realized down to the last comma. The Lord wanted that young man to become pontiff of this church, elected by divine will and by acclamation of the people of God, who recognized in him the envoy of the Lord to be able to help so many hearts in this world. He also came here as a young man, and as a young man it all began. And so then, young people, have confidence, know how to wait for the moments wanted by God, open wide the door of your heart, to feed yourselves every day, and do not be afraid, to make circulate among you, the love and the teachings of Jesus. Have as an example Christ and Mary, Christ and Mary, Christ and Mary. And you who have come, and who have left, today I say, return. The Lord is waiting for you, to be able to embrace His heart. Strip your hearts of your human reasoning and trust in the one who is good, and who here has wanted to give to all His goodness. Come, young people, young of the world, come. Here the King of Kings awaits you, because together with you He wants to renew the world, He wants to renew this earth. Come on, boys, come on, proud, fierce, high-hearted, to win with Christ and Mary, so that the first, those who think to excel, by crushing the little ones, may increasingly retreat, and the last, the small and simple, the belonging to God, the children of God, can emerge, to make known to all the love of this God who bent down once again over His children, so that these children may through the way, understand the truth, that leads to eternal life. So be it.